And that's when I was like, damn, I have no ownership over this. Like, I just don't have, I have no control over my hours. I have no control over this IP, this thing that I created, right? Like this thing that I put a lot of thought and effort into, and I did for basically free.
Capitalism poisons everyone, you know? Your own nephew, to take something that he had created and was proud of and wanted to make something of his own, and then be like, we're taking that. Why? Because you made it under our purview. Ah, you see, you have signed what we call a contract. And under that contract, well, you're working for TYT and you create stuff under the TYT umbrella, that's technically our IP. So we own it. We own you. You can make nothing. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. I don't know if you saw yesterday, but there was an incredible appearance by one Bill. I would say the best of the Bills. Better than Bill Maher. Bill Burr. He went on to Jimmy Kimmel, and while he was on Jimmy Kimmel, he made fun of people like Joe Rogan who have been blaming the LA fires on the poors. People who have been spreading conspiracy theories about the fires. People who have been saying things that are just ridiculous on the internet and suddenly became fire experts. And yeah, he also said Free Luigi, which got Jimmy Kimmel really nervous. And Jimmy Kimmel was very happy, I think, to change topics, but then he brought it back to Luigi. And Kimmel was like, oh, so we're still talking about Luigi? And he's like, I never left. I'll give you just one more repeat of that. It seems that Theo Von is sharing some account who uploaded the video of it. Yeah, the Theo Von, saying, Bill Burr, ladies and gentlemen, the best. Bill Burr is an absolute legend for this. Roasting conspiracy theories like Joe Rogan who want to blame the LA fires on homeless people. You can see how uncomfortable Jimmy Kimmel became as soon as he said Free Luigi.
Moved, but you know, the fire was coming and all that stuff, so I feel lucky.
Are you guys back in?
And I think everybody did a great job.
Yeah.
Unlike the internet, you know?
Yeah, right, I know, it's right.
Oh my God, all of these fire experts. Why didn't you just fly a helicopter into the ocean and then just, I don't know, because there was 100-knot winds? You want to do that? You want to do that at night, you lunatic?
He's right. He's right. It was really wild seeing just all of these internet warriors become fucking fire experts. Just, you know, nuclear levels of stupid, too. Being broadcast on display for the world to see. I don't get it. There's an ocean right there. Why don't you take ocean and put ocean on fire? Doesn't make sense. Well, I mean, for the regions in which you might want the soil to not be salted and never be able to produce anything, that would be a disaster. For the other regions in which they don't even have the luxury of thinking about that, they are. You know, Canadian planes, water planes, are scooping up the water from the ocean and very strategically dropping it on areas where they think it'll be the most effective. The thing is, this is just on a scale of which there's only so much human beings can do. There's only so much you can mitigate once things get out of control. That's kind of the problem. It's one of the reasons why we have a very, very well-trained and well-funded fire response team here in British Columbia, but there's only so much they can do once the forest fires get to a certain scale. They become beyond the scope of which human beings can simply take water, put water on. There's more to it than that. It's why there's other techniques they use. Sometimes like starting, you know, counter fires in order for the two fires to meet and burn out. And there are times when it is an incredibly difficult job, and you can just see it in the eyes of the firefighters, like as if they just left the war zone. And in a lot of ways they have, because things are just beyond their scope, beyond their scale. Theo Surf Arc. Well, I just want to say, since Theo Von has officially quote tweeted me in a positive way, he is now officially woke. So it happened, whether he likes it or not. I'm not going to say that I was the start of this, all right? It seems like other people on his podcast, such as, you know, Bernie Sanders and Dr. Gabor Mate, people infinitely more wise and valuable than myself, have begun the process. And then Stavy, I think, is what really pulled him in, because, you know, fellow comedians probably helped there. And now that he is quote tweeting the Serfs, I think effectively that means he has now officially been stamped with woke. So he has been wokeified. He caught the woke mind virus. Yes, the great wokening has once again befallen us.
How are you?
This was definitely mismanaged.
That's a big word we're hearing now.
Mismanaged, like some idiot on the internet knows how to manage the worst fire in LA, sitting there in his underwear. You know what? Looking at the footage on the internet, I have determined that this here was mismanaged.
You know about helicopters because I remember, and it's interesting now thinking about it because you
I
said
don't
that
know about it. I know about the one that I fly. Other than that, I don't know anything about it.
you know
But
something.
if you're on
about,
the internet, you know everything.
I hope
Sorry.
you know about it because you said that you got your pilot's license in case like all hell broke loose in L.A. You could get out of L.A. and at any moment did you think I'm going to make a run for that helicopter?
Well, the error in my thought was I didn't realize how expensive helicopters were. So all I have
He's funny.
is a two-seater, and I didn't want to have to make Sophie's choice with my family. So,
To the Luigi.
you know, and they're talking about looting, but CNN and Fox News are not going to bring up the insurance companies that are just going to keep everybody's premiums and still give themselves a bonus.
Yeah.
Yes. Free Luigi. I love how they acted surprised. Why did that happen? I have no idea. He wrote on the bullets why it happened.
Oh, we're back to Luigi. Oh.
Oh, we're back to Luigi. Anything but that, please. Cut the commercial.
Okay, yeah.
I never left Luigi.
So anyways, that took place. At the same time, we got TYT's resounding, amazing coverage of the topic.
So look, guys, the PG&E has been the cause of most of the most amount of fires that we have tracked. Okay, that doesn't mean they're the only source of fires. And unfortunately, do homeless folks who are almost always the fire started by someone who's hooked on drugs. They're starting.
Just like, wow, what a thing to say. The fires are almost always started by people who are hooked on drugs. Again, vilifying people who have no power in society. Addicts. Vilifying people who have no power in society. The unhoused. It's like, is this populism? Is this populism? You know, like fucking, one of those things where like at the end of the day, as long as people keep getting angry at people without power, people who are literally so desperate that they don't have a friend's couch to sleep on, that they're so addicted that yes, they destroy their own lives through their addictions, then why ever question the elites? Why ever question people with power? Why ever question fossil fuel extraction companies? Why ever question the billionaire couple that have been using more water than all of the houses in LA combined to grow premium luxury goods for consumption? Pistachios, pomegranate juice, shit like that. Don't question them. Don't be mad at them. Continue to be mad at homeless people. Homeless people. Yes, and addicts. I mean, you know, unfortunately, the majority of fires are started by people addicted to drugs.
For the drugs, because you cook some of the drugs. Has that been a major source of fire here in LA over the last half a decade to a decade? Absolutely. Anyone?
Really? Do we have like statistics on that? LA fires are started by satanic meth heads, is the theory. Proposed by Tucker Carlson. On his show, he says electrical wires brushing up against vegetation is a factor, but the other one is homeless people. Then claims half of all LA fires are started by homeless people. That claim does not appear to be substantiated by any hard evidence. What? Oh, weird. There's been reports of homelessness-related fires, but in terms of starting wildfires, Carlson on his broadcast says, why do homeless people start fires? He says the fires are cooking fires, referring to the practice of cooking meth, to which Schellenberger, author of multiple books, responds, they could be. Carlson then asks whether starting fires to destroy things is linked to meth addiction, to which Schellenberger responds, oh, for sure. Schellenberger, who served as a CBR, chair of politics, censorship, and free speech at Austin, also says that meth drives psychosis and psychopathy. The meth heads are like into fire. So it's not that they're starting it just to cook meth, but the meth makes them love fire, and then they want to make more fires. And then he says it's the drug of nihilism, and saying the fire is a big part of the meth culture. It's satanic. Carlson, looking shocked, responds, it does seem that way. The violent usage, methamphetamines. this puts everyone in an odd position too, because it's kind of like, all right, so wait, are you going to defend meth use sense? No, do not do meth, everybody. Before I get accused of, again, being max lefting and telling everybody that meth is great. No, meth is bad. It will hurt you. It's not good. It's most likely going to destroy your life and your body. So don't try meth, kids. There's other safer drugs you can experiment with that are not crystal meth. So if you can, avoid using crystal meth. And now that we got that out of the way, that's absolutely preposterous. First off, I don't know if that's the source here, because Cenk is just saying outright that, you know, the majority of the fires, unfortunately, are started by either homeless people or meth addicts. But then going on to be like, if you reject that, I mean, you're just not living in reality. And it's like, wait, what the fuck? Well, first off, that is a claim, a proposition that requires evidence. Do you have an evidence that the majority of mass fires started in LA have been done so specifically by meth heads? Not only that, but it's being done by people who are doing it not only, like as Tucker Carlson proposes and the person he's talking to, because of the meth itself, because they're cooking the meth, but because the meth itself is making them love fire, and it's part of their culture, and so because of their culture, they start to want to create fires and see everything burn. I mean, again, this is all a distraction, a way to distract you from actually challenging or questioning the elites and the people who profit massively off fossil fuel extraction and exacerbate climate change. And I know people are like, well, you can't just blame fossil fuel extraction companies, Lance, because while it can be fossil fuel extraction companies, there's also us consuming it. So we are also to blame. Yeah, I'm not trying to say that us using, say, non-electric vehicles for not building mass transit isn't an issue. Let's build mass transit, trains. Let's build lots of trains. Let's build high-speed electric rails. I'm on board. You're speaking my language. That doesn't mean suddenly that we can ignore this problem. And also, we can't ignore that these companies have been ignoring this problem. These companies have known about this. There are leaked documents that show they knew how bad the effects of their own products would be upon society, and they not only choose to ignore it, they actively work to suppress it. That's criminal. That's something they should be held to account for. That's something that, yes, you can blame the fossil fuel extraction companies for doing. If you have something that you sell, if you sell cupcakes and you realize that a large percentage of the people who eat your cupcakes are getting violently sick and having diarrhea, and then you say, I wonder why that is. You do a test on your cupcakes. You realize that there are ingredients in your cupcakes, maybe feces, that cause the diarrhea. If you then decide, well, rather than stopping selling my cupcakes, because I want to keep selling my cupcakes, I'm going to make sure no one ever finds out about this. So I'm not only going to suppress the results of the diarrhea study, I'm going to actively work and spread misinformation and bribe politicians and make ad campaigns to make everyone think that it's actually good for you. And then I'm going to have people saying, well, you know who else has diarrhea? Human beings. So what's a little bit in a cupcake? That's honestly what they're doing there. They know their product can destroy society and eventually destabilize the entire Earth's ecosystems, but they will actively, on a regular basis, push to suppress those results and make more and more people believe. Like, why else do you get people saying things out loud without even thinking twice about it, including politicians? You know who emits carbon? Human beings. We're carbon-based life forms. So, as a carbon-based life form, am I supposed to suddenly hate CO2? Seems a bit wild, no? Seems a little rich. I mean, like, yeah, we're also made of water, but you'll drown if you spend too much time underground. We're like that's the thing. You probably shouldn't try and breathe underwater. We're made of atoms. So are rocks. A rock can crush you. Like, what are we doing here?
Who says that that's not true is just literally indisputably lying to you. And I guess the reason they would lie to you is, oh, we want to protect our unhoused neighbors, so let's cover up the fact that they're starting fires to get high. So, but remember, not all homeless people are the same. That's the minority of homeless people. We're not trying to be, say anything disparaging about homeless people. We're just telling you a reality.
This is really fucked up and dangerous, by the way. to do this, to go on his show. I mean, like, this is Steve Bannon. This is the kind of shit that Steve Bannon would do. This is the kind of stuff that you'll see on Breitbart. This is Newsweek. This is far-right shit, where you get onto a show and you say, look, the truth is that we have to admit this. A large percentage of the fires are started by homeless addicts, meth heads who are cooking meth. I mean, if you want to deny that, you're just lying. You're lying. You're a liar, okay? I saw it on Tucker Carlson. He said that meth heads are satanic and they love fire, and that's why they do this. So it's not because we're trying to vilify the homeless. It's not because we're trying to do that. Yeah, ultimately, this is just because we believe that there's good homeless people and there's some bad homeless people. And it's the bad ones that are ruining it for everybody. So that's it.
And you covering it up doesn't help at all. So, look, guys.
Oh, how far they have fallen. Hasan Piker discusses his third and final radicalizing moment. Let us learn.
But I started working with my uncle, and look, I think it might be a little Turkish of him to do this, but he definitely took advantage of the fact that I was his nephew in terms of, the pay structure that I worked
So you
under.
definitely needed a union with a relative.
Oh, 100%.
No doubt.
Exactly. They actually did unionize the producers, but that was after I had left. But there was definitely a little bit of issues there as well, and I think that was my third final radicalizing moment. I guess was I had this IP, this intellectual property of the show that I built out of for free, that I did because I wanted to do it on the side. It's something I wanted, and I knew they were not gonna. Originally, they were not going to let me do it unless I do it for free, which is, kind of lame.
And this is your uncle's company.
Yeah, it's my uncle's company. So I'm just I want to help. I want to be beneficial, and I also want to do this thing. I'll just do it. I'll just do the extra work for free on the side and maintain this thing so that I can prove that it's good. And so I did that. But it blew up. It got very popular. And instead of giving me additional funds to be here, let's build out the show more, let's give you a writer, because I did this in the supply closet, basically. I put a green screen up there and I started filming myself. They were like, oh yeah, we're going to take this IP and we're going to give it to all the other hosts so we can make more of the same type of videos without spending any extra money. And that's when I was like, damn, I have no ownership over this. I have no control over my hours. I have no control over this IP, this thing that I created, right? This thing that I put a lot of thought and effort into, and I did for basically free. I don't control it.
Capitalism poisons everyone. It ruins everything. It turns humans against each other, all right? Puts us all in competition with each other. To do that to your own kin, your own nephew, to take something that he had created and was proud of and wanted to make something of his own, and then be like, we're taking that. Why? Because you made it under our purview. You see, you have signed what we call a contract. And under that contract, you're working for TYT and you create stuff under the TYT umbrella, that's technically our IP. So we own it. We own you. You can make nothing. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. That apparently was one of the moments that radicalized Hasan Abi. Yeah. Well, who got the last laugh on this one? And I feel that they've been salty about it ever since, I feel those clips where you see Anna just getting demonstrably upset, visibly upset at his success, which is a wild thing. I gotta be honest with you. Yeah, he's infinitely more rich and famous and handsome than I will ever be. But there's a reality in that there is not an alternative to all of the Tim Pools, the Crowders, even though Crowder fell off. But a lot of those massive channels, when Tim Pool is just regularly getting 35,000 to 40,000 live viewers and has been bumped up the YouTube algorithm to the top of the news and politics channel, that's really bad for misinformation and disinformation spreading to the masses on social media. So it's really good if there's an alternative in which there will be a lot more people who can see another streamer who's got 30,000, 40,000 live viewers, and he's not talking about that shit. He's saying free Palestine and capitalism. Yeah, so in that sense, it's a really good thing that Hasan exists. But you wouldn't think that from Anna and Cenk, who are just sitting there, and then she's like, yeah, I mean, what does he do? Plays video games. I should do that. I should fucking play video games. Get thousands and thousands of viewers. Make more money, Jesus! I bet you already drink coffee and love coffee, but you're probably worried if your coffee has blood in it. Not literal blood, but conflict zone blood. Did you want to buy coffee that is not only going to be delicious, it's going to arrive right on your door, it helps a little bit fund the serfs, and also it's end-to-end indigenous owned. That's why I partnered with Solstice Coffee, and hey, if you order by going to serfscoffee.com, they even include a free sticker, which is pretty awesome. So there's really no reason to actually not replace the coffee you already drink with delicious ethical coffee. That's why you should check out serfscoffee.com.
Hey, if you'd like to unlock secret bonus episodes as well as uncensored content, go to patreon.com/theserfs. This show is produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Puppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Travis McClinton, Trincel, Words Greenwood, with additional support coming from all of these amazing human beings right here.